Hopefully it didn't do it. Okay, I haven't done this in wait, 2 weeks ago? Guys, okay, I've streamed 3 days ago. Someone explain why I'm gone. For people that somewhat care for my absence. I'm sorry if I'm the person that yabbers on. Anyway, as you know, it doesn't have anything to do with it, but like literally 2-ish weeks ago, I got diagnosed with COVID. It's okay now. Everybody knows that, but that's not why I've been gone. The reason is I've been watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes, I know it's a weird thing. I've been watching. Yeah, Rayce A Abbott watches TV. What? I'm surprised at that point. I've been playing Hungry Shark on mobile. I've been grinding. You probably see this. I literally grinded to get this freaking jetpack, and I also grinded to get 1,000 pearls. If you don't know, in the game, that takes a freaking long time to do, and that's why I've been absent lately. I've been on my iPad all day yesterday, and I've just been playing Hungry Sharks. I will probably be suffering another absence soon due to my finals. I will be going to take my finals at school. But on like December 20th-ish, I will be out for 16 days and I will begin. Another bunch of news I really want to continue is 2022, I have some plans. So in January, we're going to begin another Subnautica 2022 playthrough. I also want to do a Fallout 2022 playthrough as well, like Fallout 4. No, 76, because Fallout 4 is just superior. Another thing is, in February, we will be doing Horizon Forbidden West. However, as we know, it's been delayed. I'm not going to blame them. I want the developers to take their time. I don't want Horizon Forbidden West coming out less quality than Horizon Zero Dawn. Last thing we need is another Fallout 76 disaster. Third thing is, first thing was absent. Second is, well, Christmas. Third thing's technically the second is Christmas break and finals. Third is the future plans. Number 4. Okay. I want to announce something. And nothing bad. So yeah, I just want to give everybody a mental check and evaluation. I'm doing fine. I've been a little bit upset lately about COVID and all that stuff, but with video games and with my family, I have done it. And it's not to say, I'm not saying I'm suffering from anxiety or depression. I'm doing fine. It's all good. We're gonna get through this together, you know. Fifth thing, I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say, but I witnessed history. Not physically in person, but on the news. If you do not know, I was probably planning on streaming on Friday night, but the stream was canceled because of a tornado outbreak. You guys probably know this. A tornado almost hit my house. It was just like 10 or less miles away from it. Again, this is worse than the one that happened near my birthday, near June 26th, as a quad state tornado was recorded. A goddamn quad! Covered more mileage in less time. More mileage, less time, 4 states. 150 miles. That's history. We've never seen anything like it within 96 years. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, in 1925, it was illegal to mention the word tornado. Therefore, when a really bad outbreak happened, what's known today as the tri-state tornado was one that touched down in southern Missouri, went through southern Illinois, my state, and southern Indiana, where it died. It was F5, and it killed 800 people, and it's the most deadliest tornado to date. It went through 3 states. The new one that was recorded only days ago went through 4, which it's starting to raise concern. In 2013, the largest tornado recorded, El Reno, was recorded at 2.6 miles. In 2020, we had a tornado that just went in 2.5 miles. I'm not trying to be that one crackhead that always complains about global warming, but here's a question. Are tornadoes, well, probably yes, are they getting stronger? If they are getting stronger, we have something to be concerned about. Tornadoes are getting bigger. We no longer think of tornadoes as the nice, wonderful, like, cones. We think of them as wedges. Ones that are wider than they are taller. Ones that can swallow and envelop entire towns. Ones that can bring the death tolls to near hundreds. Luckily, I want to give the announcement to the NWS. I know it's kind of like a weird shout out. Thank you. If the NWS didn't exist, there could be thousands of people dead. There was a candle factory where we saw 70 people died, and God bless those people. God bless the people, the families that had to suffer and endure that pain. May peace find you. It might sound cringy, but just let peace find you. We need to prepare as a society, because if we do not stop our global warming problems, this will endure and could lead to civilization's fall. Anyway, that is unlikely, but without warnings, this storm that went past could have been way worse. Probably, I want to say sextuple or septuple of what it could have been. All the people that could have died. Anyway, that's the updates, the news. I know I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to plan while I talk. But that's history. And just know that that tornado is very significant. We could never see something like it. I hope we don't ever see something like it for the next hundreds, probably thousands of years. That's a 1 in 100 year event that we just saw there. It could be back. Which, yeah, further to explain, we know that another quote-unquote even quad state can happen. That's the first time a tornado one tornado has ever gone through 4 states. We know that a quad state is possible, which raises a question. Can it go through 5, 6, 7 states? 8 plus? Anyway, I wanted to watch a video while building because it kind of triggered me. It's by Optimus. It's not like against Optimus. It's just saying that there's a tragedy blamed on video games, which I really want to react to. Optimus is I'm not blaming him for anything. I'm just saying, what's it called? I really want to see how bad it. The Oxford tragedy. What is this? I've never heard of the Oxford tragedy. Oh, number 6? Or 7, if you count this video. We need to start strengthening our forces. Team C's. We have $17.8 million donated. We need approximately $12.2 million within 18 days. That means one day we must raise 18 million. 19 days left. Can we do it? We must rally our forces.
Sinister topic at hand, and this is something I feel like you guys have probably heard about through the news already. Unfortunately, a few days ago, the plague of mass shootings here in the United States continued, and a school called Oxford High School was shot up by a 15-year-old. I don't want to say the kid's name or anything. I really, I don't want to focus on the person responsible for this any more than I already have to. I believe it was the deadliest shooting at a K-12 school in America since May 2018. The police say that it was entirely premeditated. Apparently, the kid responsible for it had been, just in the few days beforehand, been drawing things like guns and saying that the voices in his head, wouldn't stop, and was talking about how he was drawing all these gory things for a video game he was developing. The school said that a teacher caught him searching for ammunition on his phone in the middle of class, and actually, in fact, when his parents were alerted of this, his own mother texted her son that she wasn't mad at him for looking up ammunition. quote-unquote learn how to not get caught. The kid has gone on to be charged with murder charges, terrorism charges. The parents even actually are now facing charges for their role in not taking care of their weapon properly and allowing their child to carry out such a horrific act inside of school. I mean, the fact of the matter is people died, and I feel like this, if anything, shouldn't be turned into one of these situations where people are immediately pointing the finger. I mean, we know who was responsible for this. Obviously, this kid is, and he should be held to the fullest extent of the law. I think I can, have everyone agree when I say I hope this kid genuinely never finds peace again in his life. I hope that for the rest of his life, he's haunted by the memories of what he did inside of those school hallways. But unfortunately, we've gotten to this point now, just like it seems like every time one of these situations happens, where the media, instead of blaming the person responsible, or in this situation, what they deem to be the people responsible, instead of having a legitimate conversation about the situation and how can we fix it, it's been turned into a tit-for-tat against video games again.
Oh,
Now,
God.
I've made a lot of videos
Guys, one day I'm gonna become a shooter. You see this? I'm playing Minecraft and Call of Duty. I'm gonna become a shooter because that's what the media says. Just kidding. You wanna know why I'm not gonna ever become a shooter? Because I'm not an insufferable asshole that likes to end people's lives. I think I've been put on this earth to improve humanity, not destroy it. However, I just wish I wish everything were just pacified. Peacefully. You see, here's the thing. These idiots. These, well, as, I call them head asses. These idiots. They're going to ruin and tarnish video games forever.
Mini-series called It's the Video Game's Fault, and it's been just a series in which we go through, we talk about situations where instead of doing what is obviously right, society oftentimes loves to hold video games accountable for things that they aren't even remotely responsible for. Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a special look by Inside Edition into the person who was accused of shooting this school up and whatnot. So, I have a
Video games.
problem with the way that they represented the person responsible for this, and also the way that they almost insinuate that video games are somewhat partially responsible.
They're not responsible.
As you can see from the video clip, they literally quote him as being a neighborhood kid. He'd shoot hoops with the neighbors and everything. Just a simple, ordinary kid in the neighborhood. But then when it comes to his playing of video games, they make it out as if he was basically being trained by an Al-Qaeda terror cell. They show a cover of Grand Theft Auto, and from the way that they perceive it, it almost seems, you would think that, you were looking at the sole reason everything happened the way that it did. Now, let me tell you what really happened here, okay? School officials had seen all kinds
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
literally was posting vague threats on his social media.
16, 17,
Literally overheard other students saying shit
19,
like, oh, well, he really kept his word. Oh, he really did do it after all. So all these people had knowledge of what was going on. This kid was flashing all the warning signs, drawing guns, saying, he wanted to kill people, and the voices in his head wouldn't stop, making threats on social media. But apparently it's the video game's fault that this happened.
Yes, it is.
This went down because, well,
of course, it has to be the games.
Take a look.
One post from Ethan Crumbley declares, "Now I am."
Because, well, he ended up playing violent video games. Take a look.
One post from...
This guy looks like he rapes girls. I'm just saying. This guy looks like that one COD player that is just the meanest person ever, okay? God, this guy looks like an ass, okay? Let's go. I'm sorry if I judge by looks. I'm not one to do that. But you can tell from the look of this guy's face, he's either done meth or he's just a really bad guy. Probably both, but he's a really bad guy.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. See you tomorrow, Oxford.
Don't you dare ruin one of my favorite quotes. Don't you dare touch my freaking quotes. Do you know, if you don't know, the saying, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds, is a resemblance. I don't know who did it, but I do know that the person that did it was speaking of nukes. when he saw nuclear power, like nuclear bombs weapons, or nuclear powers, oh my god, nuclear bombs power. When he found nuclear bombs power, he was just amazed and scared by it, and said, well, I know it's... God, ow, my crotch.
Michaels, made by you.
Trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
J. Robert Oppenheimer, if I said that right. That's who said it. That's his quote. Don't you ruin his quote, loser.
Information can be found in a gory video game. I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Your reference... Dude, that's... He plays Fallout 4, of course he does. Literally. Okay. Don't blame Fallout because of this. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna prove that video games and Fallout 4 does not hurt people. Let's see, where is it? I moved all my games because of the tornado was really close. Oh, I left them at the bottom. I left them in the basement. I'm not going back and getting them. You know, okay. Here. Okay, ready? We're gonna test this, okay? We're gonna do the experiment. Where's my stool? Christmas tree. Okay. Video games, I want you to kill me right now. I want you to kill me right now, video games. Come on, do it. That's weird. It's like games don't cause violence. It's like video games don't kill people. It's like they can't just sprout legs and take up a gun and shoot me. That's weird. Isn't that weird, guys? I never knew that. I never knew an inanimate object could hurt me. God. I'm become dead. Okay, if you don't know, in Fallout 4, when you destroy... Okay, spoiler alert, I'm gonna... Anybody who's not played Far Harbor, click off stream right now, okay? 3, 2, 1. Okay, here it goes. In one of the endings of Fallout 4 New Harbor, Nick Valentine quotes the quote, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds," because the reason is that you launch a nuclear submarine inside of a naval base and destroy all these cultist members. And that's one of the endings. That's an Easter egg. It's a little harmless thing that they put in the game to reference somebody. And, yep.
Several years ago, Crumbly made this video showing off his collection of violent games.
Got Battlefield 4. Comment if you want to play that one. I hopefully will get to another Nazi Zombies video.
See, it's insane because I don't want to defend this kid by any stretch of the imagination. He is a piece of shit and he deserves to rot in hell. But, you know, they take a small clip out of this video or whatever that this kid...
Okay. Hold on. I need to focus here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Nope, that's not an odd number. $18. Oh, whatever. Okay. I get so sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, games train people to become killers." Literally. I know it could be kind of somewhat used, but when I picked up an AK, it was easy to use. Like, I used an AK-47. It's not because video games train me how to. It's because the AK-47 model is such an easy one to learn and comprehend. I found the safety immediately because it was just this giant lever on the side. When I picked up, I've played shooters. Actually, I cannot remember when I actually first shot a gun. I think, I want to say around 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, I started shooting guns. Let's see what I played before it. I want to say Fallout 4. I play a little bit of that, I think. I don't know what shooters I played, but I've played shooters before. And when I picked up my first gun in real life, I didn't know how to use it at all. I was an incompetent person. But now, unlike some other people, when I pick up the gun, when I pick up a firearm, I run these thoughts through my head. This weapon has the power to end human life. An irreversible consequence. And in my head, I say, therefore, I agree that if I were to harm somebody, it is my punishment, and I shall be reprehended for it. And therefore, parentheses, don't do it. Jail is not a good place. I've been there. Not like penitentiary. I went there on a field trip because me and my teacher were trying to discuss government and stuff. I got to take a trip to a courthouse, a county house where they do like all the civil meetings, and the jail. I can say I saw some food that was being cooked there. It's hell. I've been inside an anti-suicide chamber inside of that, and it's hell. If hell was on earth, it would be jail. It is horrible. And that's jail. It's not prison or anything. But let's continue.
Reported talking about Battlefield 4. He was going to play Nazi zombies from Call of Duty in another video. And it's so clear that what they're
Yeah, I want to cause harm from Nazi zombies. On zombies. If zombies ever...
had something fucking wrong with him, okay?
If zombies exist, I now want to kill them.
And willing to plan out and do things that no human being ever should be able to fucking do. There's something wrong with him. He is not a normal fucking person, okay? No normal person would ever even think of doing the actions that this kid thought about doing. Yet, of course, you know, the first thing they jump to and ignore is the fact that, yeah, he's messed up. There's something wrong. He's not a normal kid. Nobody that can willingly gun down as many of their classmates as possible is a fucking normal kid. It's just it's that simple, okay? I mean, there's no other debate to it. But his playing...
You know what? I've somewhat been bullied in school. Do I ever think about taking a freaking gun into school? No! I would never ever take a school. Not even to kill my worst rivals. Perhaps. And plus... Why did I say perhaps after that? No, I'm never ever taking a gun to school. Never. Besides, I'd rather watch my bullies go sent to jail. Yeah, let's draw a flowchart. Me shoots bullies. Oh, that's called murder. That's called manslaughter. I go to jail. Look what I just did. I think, let's weigh this. Me going to jail forever and ever, or me just getting bullied and nothing coming to me, and the teacher's doing it. What's worse of an outcome? I choose what's a better outcome, not on my recommendations or my consequences, but on others. I don't choose an outcome because it's good for me. I choose an outcome because it's moral. Even though sometimes I am shown to be a demented person in video games, I am somewhat of a kind person in real life. It's not moral. Killing an innocent is against my values. However, killing a terrorist is not. Bullies, they can be fixed. Terrorists cannot.
Video games didn't lead him down this route. It didn't lead him to this path. It's incredible how, you know, the argument always gets made that, violent video games are responsible for these tragedies. Yet tens of millions of people all across the world can play them, right? And have this problem not even fucking come into their head, right? In almost all the other countries on planet Earth, things like mass shootings simply don't fucking happen. And if they do, it's like a once-a-decade kind of thing. But in America, unfortunately, it's like hundreds a year. So it's not video games. We've ruled out that variable. It's a global thing. It's not like people only in America play video games, especially these violent ones. So that variable's already been proven wrong. And if that basic logic isn't enough to prove it wrong, why don't you listen to the countless studies done by actual fucking scientists that prove that video games do not cause people to be more violent in real life? Even the most basic first-grade logic can disprove this fucking notion that they're trying to insinuate in this video, but even if you want to get technical, the science also disproves it.
This video shows him shooting hoops with his buddies, a regular kid from the neighborhood.
Today we are doing a little basketball game.
The fact that that was even scripted
That-
into this fucking, I guess, inside look at who did this is absolutely appalling to me. It's mind-blowing that they found this appropriate to say and show. This kid maliciously took the lives of multiple children. Not only that, but he has now permanently scarred hundreds, if not thousands of kids, depending on the school size, all of the faculty who work there, everyone who's related to the children who go there, that had to wonder if their fucking kid was gonna die, or their brother was gonna die, or their cousin was gonna get fucking killed. They have caused such an immeasurable amount of damage to this entire community.
1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15.
Video games, right, that they could scapegoat. The first thing they really hone in on is, well, he was playing basketball with his friends about 6 years ago. Happy-go-lucky kid. He is a fucking murderer. It's that simple. Why would you show this, okay? Everyone who's ever done...
Murder. A person of the Homo sapiens species that has committed an act of violence that has caused another individual of the Homo sapiens species to be killed. I.e., I shoot somebody means I'm a murderer. They shoot me means they are murder. Well, technically, let me put it in simple terms. If person A shoots person B and person B dies, under the United States federal law, that means that it's murder. If the person A shoots person B but they survive, that is called an attempted murder. They can, and not surprisingly, you can be charged and sent to prison.
Any terrible human being, here he is spotted when he was 7 years old having an ice cream cone with his pop. But to paint him out like he was this fucking normal, happy-go-lucky kid that just, he did something. He turned, man. He became cold. We can't believe it.
No kidding. That's actually unhealthy.
Have done something like this. It's pretty incredible that, like, all of his classmates could figure it out, right? Like, they were, it seems unsurprised that everything kind of happened the way that it did because he had been making fucking threats on social media and whatnot. But, apparently, because, he played basketball with some kids who coincidentally lived near him a couple years ago on YouTube. He look at how happy of a kid this guy was, man. You'd almost never believe that he could be the one who did it, right? And this is my problem with the media. Every time something like this happens, instead of portraying these people as the monsters that they are, instead of portraying these people as the worst of society, people who should be viewed fucking inhuman for the actions that they commit, the first thing the media always does is they go and they get a cute childhood picture of the kid, right? Well, little old Billy Simpson, he was 13 in this picture when he looked so fucking cute. Look at his rosy little cheeks. Then they find some nice, innocent, video of them playing with some friends, or participating in a school event, or opening presents on Christmas or something. Something real fucking innocent. And they paint it as he was a great kid whose heart turned cold right at the last second. How could this ever have happened? He was a good boy.
That creates fear.
It doesn't matter what they did. It doesn't matter how good they were when they were younger. It doesn't matter how much they excelled in school. They're fucking terrorists, and they're horrible people, and they deserve to face what comes to them. It's just mind-boggling to me that instead of actually focusing in on how shitty of a human being this person who commits such an unspeakable act is, we're focused in on, could Grand Theft Auto 5 turn your kid into the next shooter? Newsflash, no, it fucking can't. And the reason that it can't is because it's a video game. I'm so over this concept that all of this shit happening in real life is caused by this video game. They've been saying this shit since, like, Columbine happened back in 1999 or whatever, right? And it's, 2021 by my math now, so I'm just wondering how these people can keep this bullshit up for so long.
No kidding.
Realize the stupidity realism and to find a boogeyman in the situation, they depict these kids as basically fucking heroes, right? If the kid's bullied, that's all you hear about after they shoot this school up. Well, the kids at school were bullying him, and he just had enough, and he went in there and cut him down, man. It doesn't matter if you're being fucking bullied in school. There's millions of kids who are bullied at school and who live in bad conditions at home.
Not me. I don't live in bad conditions.
Possible outcomes every day of their life, and they never go and do some shit like this.
Yeah, exactly. I get harassed sometimes, not like all the time, but I don't. Ow. Well, the only act of violence that's been committed is that chair freaking destroying my knee. God, Jesus.
Childhood picture. They very fleetingly will ever use the mugshot that depicts them as the fucking person that they actually are now. It's always about who they were when they were 12 or 13. Well, personally, I'm a little over that, right? I'm a little tired of hearing about how great of a kid this kid was. He excelled in school, so, they didn't see it coming. He was never a kid who, really raised any concerns or anything like that. And, he just started having this fixation, like, what the fuck ever, dude? The kid's a murderer, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he had a goddamn Xbox. It's essentially, always about the video game, but what's funny is, you never really see this about any other forms of media. I know they used to shit on, like, rap music, and Marilyn Manson and whatnot, because they were all the devil. It used to be all about your kid can't see a rated R movie, things like that. And I get it, right? That parents, instead of just actually addressing the issues, the reasons that their kids are being fucking killed, it's just easier to blame their video game. But it never does anything to actually address what's happening. And all of this kind of just spends blaming video games for this kind of shit. How many kids do you think are being saved from the next big shooting that happens, right? How many school officials are getting involved with a kid who, might do something like that right now because of the fear from video games? Exactly. It's all just a bunch of bullshit, man, and I know it's a sad topic to talk about and things like that, but, like, I just get so fucking tired of hearing this stupidity and seeing this kind of ignorance be perpetuated by the mainstream media at that. I mean, for God's sake, Inside Edition is a YouTube channel with nearly 10 million subscribers.
Why?
They have a massive audience. And then perpetuating this kind of dangerous bullshit is the same exact reason why you'll continue to see things like this happen. These kids are idolized, glamorized, and turned into heroes by the media when shit like this happens, and their hobbies are the things that get fucking pointed out and get singled out as the problem. With that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around.
Now, that one I really wanted to react to.
Twitch at sub to Optimus. Make sure.
Math is somehow racist. Oh, yes. Karens.
Fascinating.
Yes, I am.
We launch rockets to Mars, but we also do this.
Your mom.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about math. I know that is pretty much one of the worst things that I can entertain you talking about, but unfortunately, something pretty crazy is kind of happening, and it's becoming more and more of a discussion. I made a few videos kind of similar to this one, talking about how, the education system has been getting, like, reformed over the last few years a lot. I know there's a lot of debate about a lot of these things that are being done, including critical race theory, but this, I don't think, is specifically critical race theory, if I'm correct, but it's kind of trending in that way a little bit, it's a little borderline with that, but essentially this article is arguing that the way math is being taught right now is racist, and it's talking about some of the changes that are being made to supposedly address the racism in math. Now, I do want to go ahead and say I don't really understand how math is racist. I mean, if you're teaching math straight up, then there's no real way to racially influence it the way I see, because math is kind of just like a universal law. You know what I mean? Math is, it's more or less something that we've kind of discovered because it works so well with everything that we know. I mean, math is obviously extremely fundamental to the entirety of the universe. Everything is made up of math in some way. I mean, like the microphone in front of me, it has size dimensions, it has a specific weight. There's a certain number of atoms that are taken up to make this, and there's, like the monitor in front of me, there's a certain amount of pixels on the screen that gives a certain resolution, and there's math in pretty much everything. I mean, all shapes and everything that we see virtually is just math that's being disguised really well.
I'm just trying to calculate something right now.
I don't really understand where this argument even comes from, because it's not like math is racist, right? If math was racist, I feel like we would notice a lot more that a universal concept is just somehow discovered that it wants to target one specific race of people, or like even just people on Earth. Obviously, we're just a drop in the bucket compared.
Why? Is math racist because of PP size?
I don't understand a lot of it, but we're going to go ahead and go through this and talk about it. So, the article we're reading today is called
No, it isn't.
Changes to how US
Dun 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 dun.
by someone of the actually multiple people have sent me this now. I've got 3 or 4 different tweets.
God, Fortnite's so bad.
It was an article from the USA Today, and they wrote this, and initially, like when I first opened it, it was free, right? You could just open it up. The article had no paywall, but I noticed that
Person, is math racist? Me, no. So true. Larry, why is math racist? Me, no. Sorry for anybody, I had to hear that.
after it got 2,000 or so quote retweets, and it got a whole bunch of comments, pretty much just people globally just destroying this article, they actually managed to put it behind a paywall. So basically what happened is, like, people were destroying this article, and they then put it behind, like, their membership on their website or whatever. You gotta pay, like, $5 a month or something.
That's garbage.
To basically read this article, and obviously I'm not doing that, so I actually found a different copy of it on yahoo.com. So, yeah, got around that paywall, USA Today. Thanks for trying that one on me. Didn't work. So, but bolder recommendations to make math more inclusive are blowing up out of the world of mathematics education. Schools are collapsing math tracks to put kids of all abilities in the same classes and adding data science courses that carry the same prestige as calculus, long seen as a gateway to a career in STEM fields and elite colleges. Another heated issue, the extent to which math education should include real-world problems involving racial and social inequities.
Alright, on our first Man vs. Toy challenge, we have the NKOK Polaris Sportsman ATV is remote.
Whether or not that debate has landed in the murky soup of critical race theory digressions. The changes have pitted mathematicians and math educators against each other and sparked criticism from affluent parents upset by the elimination of gifted tracks. They've caused upheaval in one state, California, as professors, parents, and teachers spar over proposed changes to the state's K-12 math framework. Quote, "We're not changing or lowering the standards, we are outlining how inequitable the teaching of math is right now," said Joe Bowler, a Stanford University math education professor at the forefront of the changes. Alright, so there's a lot I want to talk about right here. First and foremost, they're collapsing all of these different math classes, essentially boiling them down into one math class. So they're taking away the gifted programs in schools that are following along with this, and they're putting students who aren't achieving as well into the same classrooms as kids who are overachieving even. And there's a couple reasons why I don't see this as a good idea, okay? Now, I've unfortunately been on both ends of the spectrum. When I was really early on in school, I actually was really good at school. I was so good at my classwork and stuff, I was recommended to skip almost 3 years of school early in elementary school. When I was in kindergarten, they wanted to send me directly to the 2nd grade. In 1st grade, they wanted to send me directly to the 3rd grade. Now, my mom actually turned this down both times. She did not want me to just, advance through these classes like that because she was afraid that, given the fact these kids would be multiple years older than me, that it could have stunted my emotional and social development a lot. And obviously, I can see that concern, but I honestly would have liked to have graduated high school when I was like 15 or 16. That would have been nice, but, I went through school the normal way, and then as I got later on into school, I became a worse student to the point where I even was getting way worse grades, wasn't getting straight A's anymore. And that's simply because I didn't like school, okay? I mean, first couple years it was fine, but after that, I just wasn't interested in it. I had other things, including YouTube, that I was more interested in doing. Obviously, that worked out for me, but, not every kid gets that situation. There's a lot of kids who are stuck on both ends. They're either, overachievers or they're underachievers in the classroom. And both are honestly fine, but you can't teach kids with that big of a gap
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 times 4 is about 96 plus 3, which is 97. 97 divided by 3. Wait, no. 96. 99 divided by 3 is 33.
The same way that a
Therefore,
classes. A kid who's overachieving in the class, while, yeah, they could, I guess, set an example for their fellow classmates, they're not the answer to the problem. And another reason that I'm not a big fan of pushing all
30.
these classes together is
5,
what it does
26,
is it puts
27,
extra
28,
stress on the
29,
teacher. For instance, let's
30.
say you're a teacher at a school, right? And you have you got like 10 kids in the difference of the classes. So let's say
5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
having 18 students to 28 students. That's obviously a pretty drastic change. And it's pretty obvious that a teacher that has more work to do, more students to interact with, is probably not going to teach as effectively as they would if the workload was definitely cut down a little bit. The only problem is when you do that, you do have to hire another teacher to teach the advanced class, or, the class falling behind. But at the end of the day, I think that's a much more effective way to teach kids because, number one, they get more one-on-one time with the teacher. So when your class only has 18 kids compared to 28, obviously, you're going to get more time with the teacher when you need it because the teacher doesn't have to handle all these kids. The teacher going around to 28 kids individually trying to help them with their work is going to be a lot harder and a lot more time consuming than just working with like 18. So if you have a teacher that can handle 18 kids who are struggling, I would say that's a much more effective way right off the jump to teach these kids and help them get caught up than to just shovel a bunch of kids who are smart into the class, stunt their development potentially by holding them back with a class basically they can't keep up with the amount of work that they need to be doing. And realistically just seems to harm all the kids overall. Now this article goes on to claim that this apparently has promising effects. It doesn't really link anything, which is my problem with this article. There's no evidence, okay? They're just saying, hey, it's working. The only things that it really links are like some surveys about like pretty much that adults are answering, right? It's about workers and things like that. It's not about students. Making math more relevant by using real-life problems around social inequities has struck a nerve as Republicans accuse teachers of overemphasizing race and racism in some areas, such as American history. Many GOP-led states have passed laws aimed at curtailing such discussions. Proponents of the framework changes in California, on the other hand, have encouraged working equity discussions into math class. Honestly, I also don't really agree with this change either. First and foremost, they're arguing that kids aren't learning enough in math, right? They're making it about, kids who are of, low-income families and people of color, they're not performing well enough in math, especially early on in these classes, and it's leading to, divides in what types of jobs that they'd be interested down the road in. I'm pretty certain that if you start introducing shit that should be taught in history class into math, that's simply only going to complicate things. It only provides a reason for people to argue. It only provides a reason for people to get divided away from the issue at hand. The issue at hand is that kids aren't doing good in math. That is a problem that needs to be addressed, but it doesn't need to be addressed in these, jerk of the motion type of efforts where they're just throwing something at the problem and hoping that it sticks. I'm not one of these people who's like doesn't want anything about racism to be talked about, right? There is a place and a time for that. But yeah, talk about the things that were racist and talk about the racist part of American history in history class. Kids should learn about the civil rights movement and everything that happened in that. And they should learn about slavery and how horribly slaves were treated. And they should teach about things like Black Wall Street and Emmett Till and all these other people. And it shouldn't only be limited to just like, African American history. I think it's also important
like
that
Japanese,
the entire
Chinese, the Irish.
Oftentimes, yes, I think we do as a society forget that there is a lot of history that kind of does get brushed over simply because, it happened to a minority community or something like that. That does happen. I will agree on that. But math is not the place to teach that. It's essentially like saying, oh, kids aren't doing good enough in science, so let's start throwing some music theory in there. That'll get the kids interested about it. I think maybe kids would be more interested in learning math, and they would show more promising results in math if the student-to-teacher ratio got lowered across the board in schools, if teachers actually could spend one-on-one time with students, if there was genuine incentives to make kids want to learn. I mean, that's, I think, a huge problem in these, like, American schools especially, man. Like, when I went to school, a huge problem is, like, with homework, dude. That is not an incentive. Getting straight A's is not enough of an incentive to get kids to just want to naturally learn things. Schools need to find a way to actually engage with students.
No kidding. Schools are ass. They don't know how to teach anyone.
Nobody learns the same as everyone else. Everyone has a different way of learning. Everybody has their own personal experiences, and acting as if like you can just take a bunch of all these different kids from all these different environments and backgrounds, throw them in the same room and teach them the same thing without, connecting with them on a personal level, you're never going to get kids to learn. Like, you hear people complain all the time that, like, schools with higher student-to-teacher ratios, oh my god, like, why can't they get their test scores up? Why aren't kids here engaged in learning? Because there's no incentive and they have no one to actually help them. There's a teacher watching 33 students try to learn the exact same math with all their different capabilities in math. America is one of the only countries I can think of off the top of my head that spends, honestly, a lot of money on education. I mean, a lot of students here in the U.S., they get tens of thousands of dollars every year spent on them in the public school system, but yet we rank, like 42nd in math. The reading literacy rate
He's not wrong.
is a lot lower than it should be. Our overall education rates are behind. America is a less educated country than other countries on the planet. It's supposed to be the greatest country on the planet. And I think a lot of it comes down to the way that we teach kids. Because the American school system is pile a fuck ton of homework on their back, hope they can understand what they're learning through the book.
Yeah.
Maybe ask the teacher one or two questions when you get to class tomorrow because the rest of the class is just busy time, basically. And, if you're falling behind, maybe get tutored or just be left fucking behind by the authorities. And instead of actually addressing that issue and getting kids engaged and finding things that actually make kids learn, we've gotten to this point where we're debating putting history lessons in math and pushing everyone into the same math classes because there's a disproportionate
That's problem. It's not engaging.
in these gifted classes. It's essentially like saying that kids of color who aren't Asian can't make it into these gifted classes, which I think is a very racist fucking opinion to have in the first place. Because, like, when I remember going to high school and everything, I mean, a lot of the kids who were in the advanced classes and the gifted classes were people of color. Like, I was in a lot of, like, advanced classes later on in high school. They were college courses. And there was definitely more people of color than this tries to make it out to be. It wasn't just a bunch of white and Asian kids. No, that wasn't the case at all. There were Hispanic kids, white kids, Asian kids, black kids, all in the same classes, and they were all advanced. So this idea that, like, just dumbing everything down essentially is what I agree with that. I think it is dumbing it down. I don't see how it helps, man. And I feel like instead of sitting around arguing about whether or not math is racist and whether or not we need to be involving more history lessons in it, I think that this is more time that we're wasting not addressing the real issues of these classes. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, not thinking math is racist, and signing out.
Mr. Beast did nothing wrong.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Mr. Beast and his Squid Game video once again. So for those of you that didn't see my video like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, basically we talked about how Twitter had reacted to the whole Squid Game video by Mr. Beast and how they were, not really big fans of it. There were some people saying that he could have just given that money away instead of making this video, that he was ripping off the show without realizing what the
My God,
message
people.
behind the show was, and all these different things.
If you create something and publish it for the public, that is, in my opinion, classified as art. Art is a way of expressing something. Art can be anything from as, well, extravagant as a freaking painting to literally taking a piece of metal and taking a hammer, bending a piece of metal and saying, look at this. Literally, art is what you want it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So is creativity. Losers. Loser, head-ass looking MS. Yo, is that the new map that he's playing in on Warzone? That is sick.
The Guardian and Vice, which both are somewhat reputable news sources. At least the Guardian is purported to be one, and Vice used to actually be a news page. Now they just write fucking sad articles about Mr. Beast and how he, ripped off this show. But we're going to be taking a look at 2 articles that came out from them where, you know, they highlight a lot of these same problems that these people on Twitter did, but they also make some bold and absurd claims that just, in all reality, that, like, when we look at them, it just proves that they're not even paying attention. They're just saying things. So yes, this is a 2-for-1 special today, folks. Make sure to lock in, you know, get your fucking drink ready, get you a water, you know, get you some popcorn or some chips or something. I don't know, man, but this one might end up being a little bit longer than usual because, well, we are reacting to 2 completely different pieces of content today, but, you know, these articles came out within, you know, the last couple of weeks, and I just wanted to talk about them because, well, I'm just really kind of tired of this, like, Mr. Beast slander. Like, there's so many people that are upset over this video for realistically not even that big of a reason. I mean, it's a really good video. If you've seen it, it's fucking phenomenal. Like, the sets are recreated so well. It's obvious that there's so much passion behind the video. But of course, you know, anytime you do anything cool or good and, like, you have some sort of buzz around your name, people are gonna fucking find something to complain about, and, well, that's what we're reacting to today. So the 456,000 Squid Game in Real Life video by Mr. Beast currently has almost 160 million views. Hasn't even been out a month yet. It's got 11 million likes. I mean, these are just GOAT numbers. Like, there's not that many YouTubers who could ever put a video out like this with this big quality and get these kinds of views and get this kind of attention around themselves. I've been saying Mr. Beast has to be the greatest YouTuber ever. The way that he's able to, you know, get people to watch his videos and come away with them, like, enjoying something, that's phenomenal. He really does kind of appeal to everybody in their own specific ways. YouTuber Mr. Beast's take on the Netflix series Squid Game, where real people competed for 456,000, is a hit with viewers, racking up over 100 million views since it premiered last week. Keep in mind this article came out, you know, multiple weeks ago. It's a well-produced, facsimile show, but it's also bizarre to watch Mr. Beast and former YouTube executives celebrate its popularity as a huge success for so-called, quote, creators. Okay, this is a very disrespectful way to kind of, like, you know, they're basically...
That's an asshole move, I can agree on that.
They're saying that he's not creating anything here because, you know...
That's the map that they made? That's so cool! I want to play it. I hate Warzone, but I really want to play that map.
Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into building this entire set, to paying this whole production crew, figuring out the YouTube algorithm to understand just how, when, in which manner to upload YouTube videos, down to pretty much every last detail. Yeah, man, he just completely ripped off the show. It took no effort. He didn't create anything, you know? He just kind of, you know, made a parody of something. Is that a word? Parody? Like, this argument that fucking people aren't quote-unquote creators, right? Because, you know, they're parodying something is ridiculous. Would you say the same thing to the incredibly talented artists who could do things like draw fucking Spider-Man or, like, some sort of comic book character or movie character from hand? Are they not creators and artists and things like that because they're fucking taking inspiration from something else? Oh, wait, no, I'm pretty sure Vice wouldn't make that argument because it's fucking idiotic. You know what, they might. They really might. They're basically doing it here. But my reason for thinking that this is just more intentional than anything is that these outlets like this are kind of afraid of YouTube. Because, let me explain this, right? People like Mr. Beast are the mainstream media outlets and these entertainment platforms. YouTubers can genuinely pull TV network numbers talking about the same things, doing the same things as all of these TV shows, and other YouTubers can just talk about it like me in their fucking office room of their house, play some video games behind it, and get the same amount of coverage shown to people than, you know, like a Vice article can. So, not only is it more engaging, more entertaining, and most of the time it's a lot less bullshit to even have to deal with, you know, these are all reasons, basically, that they would be afraid because, well, YouTube videos entertain people better than traditional media. And what does that mean if people like Mr. Beast continually keep breaking records and getting all of this attention and bringing all of this good, positive energy to the creator atmosphere on YouTube?
I'm kidding. I don't watch Mr. Beast, but no, seeing what he's doing makes me want to watch him even more.
CBS, CNN, any of the major TV networks, any of the, like, entertainment outlets, and they don't want to see that happen because, well, they haven't completely monopolized this entire atmosphere here, right? You don't have to sign 700 papers to fucking get a show on YouTube. You literally just be entertaining enough and have a $30 camera and you can do it. So I know I spent a lot of time harping on that point, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone realized the slight in this article, what they're trying to do with this type of wording, with the bullshit that they say. So, as a feat of production, it's not just admirable, but enviable in how perfectly Mr. Beast recreated the sets of the show. As a piece of media, it's perverse. This doesn't just badly misunderstand the anti-capitalist message of Squid Game, it's a literal recreation of the villain's ultimate desire to watch desperate people compete for money purely for his amusement. In Mr. Beast's version of Squid Game's Marvel game, the YouTuber's research team even paired up best friends in an effort to emulate the tragic stakes of the original show.
Oh, whatever.
What they'll do with the prize
He's doing it because he's a fan of the show.
Alright, you know, this is a really great paragraph because it highlights just how quickly and hypocritically this Vice author will completely contradict what they say. In the first article, they have to put quotes around the word creator because, you know, Mr. Beast didn't go out of his way to make something as entertaining as Squid Game, right? He just basically ripped someone's idea off. In fact, literally calling it a ripoff in the title of the article. But then in the next paragraph, right?
Nerf Legends. I thought people didn't like that game. I'm gonna wait for it to get better and I might join Nerf Legends. It looks fun. People are just saying it's not good.
They're calling him a quote-unquote creator in one paragraph. They say he recreated the sets of the show. In fact, actually, that's a fucking typo in there because nobody who actually writes for these outlets understands how to write in the first place. So they go on to complain, oh, it misunderstands the capitalist message of Squid Game. It's anti-capitalist, man. Like,
who cares?
How dare you ever try and make money on an anti-capitalist message? Well, because this whole point completely ignores the fact that even though the creator of Squid Game got fleeced with the Netflix deal, still got some sort of money for it, right? Still made profit. And then, of course, everyone praises Netflix for, like, the fact that they got Squid Game. Oh, this is one of Netflix's best shows ever. It's doing so great. They'll praise Netflix for the numbers that it generated, right? Oh, well, the show is worth, you know, so many hundreds of millions of dollars to Netflix. Really strategic move. But yeah, there's no capitalist message there, right? It's not like Netflix profited off of an anti-capitalist message in any way, right? By a lot. Oh, but it's okay when Netflix does it, right? But, I mean, when Mr. Beast profits even a little bit, right, all of a sudden he's not being a creative person. He's a ripoff and all this other shit, right? So they didn't even go to talk about how, like, oh, it even emulates the tragic stakes of the show and whatnot. Yeah, guess what? That's the fucking point. How can you recreate Squid Game without that part? I don't understand. It's like asking someone to recreate the movie Wolf of Wall Street without involving fucking greed. It's literally one of the main themes of the entire show. If you want to recreate it in any way, you have to involve it. More than just bizarre, Mr. Beast's Squid Game highlights a fundamental problem of YouTube. There is no shortage of people who make original art and put it online, but the internet is dominated instead by people who can take advantage of existing properties and fan bases. This is a particular problem on YouTube, where the people film themselves literally reacting to things or laughing at other people's memes and making a lot of money off of it. This video is no different from those. It owes a debt to Huang's show in every respect. Despite being original content from a popular content creator, it's nothing more than a sad retread of someone else's work. There's also an ad spot for mobile game Brawl Stars in the middle of the video, meaning that Mr. Beast will also profit from the fruits of Huang's creative labor. Okay, so the internet's dominated by people who can take advantage of existing properties and fan bases. Well, that's how the real world also works. You ever notice how when you go down Times Square, there's not fucking, you know, some small indie creator's project up on the billboards? When you go there, you see Marvel. You see fucking McDonald's. You see Taco Bell. You see Drake's new album. You see whatever musicals are in town. It's literally all corporate shit. But guess what? It's their established names. They're brands that people already spend money on. They're brands that people already involve themselves with. So yeah, that's how everything works, okay? And the internet is no different. Yes, people love to fucking, once again, they love to draw Dragon Ball characters online and shit like that, sure. But to pretend as if, like, original content creators aren't getting their fair shot either. Mr. Beast literally pioneered a whole genre of content on YouTube. Philanthropic stunt videos is what they're often called. Nobody was doing that on that level until he pioneered it, until he innovated YouTube by doing that. And it's extremely ironic and hypocritical for Vice to complain about people reacting to things online or laughing at other entire fucking whole income source of Vice is literally reacting to other shit. This article is Vice reacting to Mr. Beast, reacting to Squid Game, okay? The video you're now watching is Optimus reacting to Vice, reacting to Mr. Beast, reacting to Squid Game. Vice does not create original news stories. You know, Vice doesn't go out in the middle of nowhere, instigate some fucking event, and then report on something they created, right? No. If something happens in the fucking news or whatever, Vice reports on it. That's what Vice does. They're literally a YouTube channel, but like an old head's YouTube channel. They just tell you shit that happened to other people, and then complain that other people have the fucking gumption, the gall, to do the same thing they do in a more innovative and entertaining way. In fact, I went to Vice.com and I searched just the term Squid Game, and Vice, even though they're complaining about a YouTuber, you know, interpreting fucking Squid Game, they have 13 articles with the word Squid Game in the title. So Vice has reacted to Squid Game's popularity 13 times, but is complaining when a YouTuber recreates it once. They say they owe a debt to Wang Shou's Squid Game, even though they literally think the creators of Squid Game in the video, they literally paid homage to the entire show throughout the entire video. It apparently owes debt in every respect. Yeah, they paid that debt, so please shut the fuck up. They then completely proved that none of the video was actually watched. This is the funniest part, and I noticed this before I even started recording, but this is the bombshell that makes Vice look completely... Who wrote this? Who wrote this at Vice? Okay, so it actually makes Rita Jackson look like a complete fucking moron. So there's also an ad spot for mobile game Brawl Stars in the middle of the video, meaning that Mr. Beast will profit off of the creative labor of someone else. Okay, well, here's what Mr. Beast actually says in the middle of the video, starting at about 14 minutes and 25 seconds.
While they're fighting for their chance in this competition, I want to tell you guys about Brawl Stars. To help fund this video, which cost over $3.5 million.
Okay, so right there in the ad read that, you know, this writer noticed the entire time, like, was able to write about. That's how noticeable it was. Seemed to completely forget the context that Brawl Stars' investment in this video went to funding it. The video cost over $3.5 million to make. Keep in mind, Squid Game in its entirety, I think, cost around $21 million to make. So, just off the top of the head, it cost about 1/7 of the entire TV show to make, but that money went to funding that video, okay? So, unless they gave him $6 million for that, I don't see how Mr. Beast profited in any single way that it was enough to fucking matter from this ad. So, once again, can notice the ad, but can't, you know, listen to the reason that the ad's in there. That shows you the investigative journalism that Rita Jackson and Vice really pulled off with this one, man. You guys killed this article. Congratulations. You guys totally aren't a bunch of hacks. Now, let's move on to the next article from The Guardian. And the video was good, though there was absolutely no lip service paid to the fact that Squid Game was a 9-hour-long criticism of the grinding gears of capitalism, and Mr. Beast's videos are quite often just handing people between $1,000 and $10,000 in exchange for them humiliating themselves trying to win the car. The final game of musical chairs for a $500,000 cash prize was genuinely thrilling, but he just did Squid Game. I don't get it. Netflix did Squid Game, and then Mr. Beast just did Squid Game. There is no trick. Yeah, you're right, there's no trick. That's the whole point. Yeah, Netflix did Squid Game. You mean the global conglomerate that's worth tens of billions of dollars and whatnot? Yeah, they did Squid Game. Funny enough, you know, Netflix didn't really do Squid Game because the writer had the idea for like 12 years before.
Yeah, he actually had it in like 2009, if I'm not wrong.
The artist there for creating that, since you're so
He actually sold his computer.
Yeah, Mr. Beast is literally a guy with some crew and a YouTube channel, okay? Not close to the same thing. The fact that he was able to recreate this so well is that impressive. Once again, you do not have to address the fact that it was a criticism of capitalism to make a recreation of it, okay? That's so fucking idiotic. It's the same point that these people all have just been repeating over and over again. No genuine addressal, I guess, of the criticism against this point, just repeating it, because, you know, it has some buzzwords in it. Capitalism. Because capitalism bad, right, guys? This wouldn't have been brought into sharp, once again, a fucking typo because none of these people can write, but this wouldn't have been brought into sharp focus if there was an assumed deleted tweet this week from John Ushade, one of those creator and advisor to NFT guys that exist out there, praising Mr. Beast for so brazenly ripping the original idea off. Quote, at Mr. Beast's Squid Games video, 103 million views in 4 days. It took 7 weeks to make. Netflix's Squid Game series, 11 million views and 111 million views. I'm sorry. In 30 days, it took 10 years to make. More views, less time, fewer gatekeepers. That's the promise of the creator economy. Alright, so I think it's very obvious what happens here. So it's basically popular to hate NFTs, and people who don't like, or people who like NFTs are like kind of popular to hate too, right? It's basically just like an internet dogpiling thing going on right now. There are some reasons to criticize NFTs for sure, but what this writer is doing is appealing to the mass on that one, right? Like they realized that one person said something about the show, they brought up legitimate facts, and they are very impressive facts and really show a very promising part of the creator economy, yes. But of course, instead of actually addressing those true facts and addressing the fact that they were right, they have to criticize what the person's into. See, because he's into NFTs, so he's not credible, and he's just a goofball tweeting on Twitter, so what he says doesn't matter. You should listen to me, TheGuardian.com. I know, I can't believe copying someone else's idea wholesale took less time and money than creating the original content in the first place. However, this is part of the problem. Yes, we have a new generation of internet creator-only megastars with the power and finances to make any type of content they like. But sadly, after years of just recreating videos purely to please an algorithm rather than an audience, they don't really have anything new to say. What happens when Mr. Beast runs out of Netflix shows to remake? How many more times can he buy someone needy a car? This week's Squid Game video was undoubtedly a huge success, but it hints at a dearth of IP a little further down the line that could change how YouTubers make videos all over again. So, it's funny that anyone writing for any of these mainstream outlets would ever fucking say anything along the lines of, it's sad that creators only write for the algorithm instead of their audience. As if
Well, yeah, you have to target the algorithm. That's how screwed up YouTube is right now.
so they can get as many views as possible. Once again, what these people are doing is the same thing that I do, except I do it in a more entertaining and a more listenable format, and, you know, I don't just bullshit for the sake of bullshitting, and, you know, once again, they're like the old head version of me, right? So, yeah, it's just fucking hilarious that they ever have the gumption to say that, once again. So, then they go on to make the point, well, what does he do when he runs out of topics, you know? When he doesn't have another Netflix show to recreate, what's he gonna do then? He's going to innovate YouTube like he did before when he created, once again, a whole genre of content, okay? That's what literally everybody here does. It's the same exact argument I remember people making to me, like when I first started blowing up on YouTube. Well, what happens when you run out of topics? Then what are you gonna do, Optimus? Guess what? It's been 4 fucking years, and I've never had that issue one single time. Well, we literally had no topics for just months, if not years on end, right? There's always something to talk about. That's the beauty of the internet. There's always something to make a video about, and Mr. Beast will continue to do that until he decides, or whatever, that he doesn't want to do that anymore. The Guardian, like, these writers are just so fucking, like, they have no self-awareness, because you can literally flip this same question to them. What do you do at The Guardian when you guys run out of topics to rip off from other fucking news outlets? You know? What do you guys do when, you know, the world gets a little boring and there's nothing to talk about? I don't know. What are you guys gonna do then? The only difference is your media is dying out while the media I'm in is actually exploding in value and popularity. So, we're in 2 completely different boats asking the same question back and forth, guys. It's just funny to me that, like, you can read in these articles that these people did not give this video a fair shot. They literally just wrote these articles for the sake of criticizing. They watched this video for the sake of criticizing. What I'm venturing to guess here is their bosses came to them like, hey, what's up? Your fucking articles have been sucking recently. They're not doing well. Hey, this Mr. Beast guy, he's doing really well on YouTube. You want to shit on him and get an easy cash grab out for us? And for like $30,000 a year, they gotta go, sir, yes, sir. And obviously that would make me jealous too, when this guy's fucking, you know, getting a $3.5 million sponsor or whatever to cover the new recreation video he's putting out on YouTube for 160 million people to watch. I'd be pretty upset too, man. So it's just funny, man. It's just seeing the stupid shit they say, and just it's so pokeable, right? Like you can punch this shit through like Swiss cheese just on repeat. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @sub2optimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Mr. Beast, and signing out.
God. Hmm? Hmm. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a break. This park's not looking bad. I like that. That is so cool. Little nice little park. I think I needed that. I'm just gonna take a break. I'm tired. I'm just gonna cam back. Bye.